What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Smackdown, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Janel Grant breaks her silence on a horrendous ordeal with Vince McMahon. She was mocked by the Tate brothers. WWE doubled down on stupidity. Why WWE cut to a black screen on Smackdown last night. AJ Styles reveals his original retirement plans, and much more. As always, we won't recap the show, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good, as number 1, 2026 is Kiana James's year. As SmackDown delivered another Elimination Chamber qualifying triple threat, this time featuring Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, and Kiana James. Now on paper, this felt like a Charlotte Flair win. She's the biggest name in the field and usually the safest bet in situations like this, but when you look at the bigger picture, the Chamber lineup needed a stronger heel balance. When Nia Jax tied up in the tag team scene, that created a big opening, and it was for Kiana James's taking. And she didn't just sneak the win, she earned it. Throughout the match, James was booked to hang with both Flair and Jax, never looking out of place despite sharing the ring with two former champions. There were two moments that really stood out. One that saw James lift Nia Jax for a Samoan drop, and that's no easy task. And the other highlight was a Spanish fly executed by both Flair and James. And in the end, it was Kiana James punching a ticket to Elimination Chamber. She now joins Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka with one final spot still up for grabs. And just like that, the Chamber picture feels a lot more unpredictable. Kiana James has had a stellar 2026 so far, and we're only in February. She's pinned Alexa Bliss, pinned Charlotte Flair, she's had a shot at the women's tag team titles, she was the MVP of the Royal Rumble, WWE has shown her strength off incredibly, and now she's headed to Elimination Chamber. Number 2, the insane reaction to Trick Williams. Now on SmackDown, Trick Williams punched his ticket to Elimination Chamber by pinning a former World Heavyweight Champion. That's no small detail. Beating someone with that kind of resume instantly adds weight to your own. And for Trick, it's another clear step forward. His rise hasn't felt forced, it's been building week by week, and this win only strengthens that momentum. The crowd reaction told the exact same story. They were behind him from the very start, getting an insane pop when he showed up backstage with Sami Zayn. Number 3, Black gains momentum, but Randy is protected. SmackDown delivered a major spotlight moment for Aleister Black this week as he stepped into a high-profile match against the Viper Randy Orton. From the start, it just didn't feel like another bout, as WWE gave Black and Zelina Vega a full big fight entrance. The lighting, pacing, and overall production leaned into the mystique Black has been building throughout weeks of intense promos. Of course, on paper, facing Orton is already a statement, but the real story was how the finish played out. Drew McIntyre interfered, costing Orton the match at a critical moment, and that opened the door for Black to capitalize and secure the victory over a marquee name, and that's where the booking really stands out. Black gains serious momentum and credibility. He now has a win over one of WWE's biggest superstars. And at the same time, Orton stays protected because the loss came through outside involvement. It was a win-win situation. Number 4, WWE paid tribute to a longtime employee. WWE took a moment after SmackDown went off the air to honor a longtime WWE television director, Kerwin Silfies, who passed away on February 18th. Silfies wasn't someone fans saw on screen, but his fingerprints were all over WWE's biggest moments for decades. From camera cuts to production timing, he helped shape how millions experienced the product at home. It was a quiet but meaningful acknowledgement for someone who played a major role in how WWE television looked and felt for an entire generation of fans. Number 5, R-Truth confuses Nick Aldis. As part of the long-running gimmick, R-Truth continues to hilariously mix up names, situations, and storylines, and this week's episode of SmackDown was no different. During a backstage segment, SmackDown GM Nick Aldis was shown receiving the same mysterious crate that appeared on Raw earlier this week. Truth approached Aldis and immediately speculated the crate might be a reward for winning the Elimination Chamber. Damian Priest then entered the frame, and Truth confidently stated that Priest was also in the Elimination Chamber qualifying match, but Aldis quickly corrected him, clarifying that Truth himself was not even part of the match. The segment though reached its peak when Truth told Aldis he liked him better when he was bald, clearly confusing him with Raw GM Adam Pearce. Now they're not always going to be knee slappers, but moments like this continue to highlight why R-Truth remains one of WWE's most entertaining and unpredictable personalities. Number 6, Johnny Gargano finally getting over? Gargano has been visibly distraught since Axiom retrieved his mask. A few weeks ago he was found lying belly down on a stretcher, and this week on SmackDown he was in the same position, but on top of the mystery crate. Now it is a bit of a goofy gimmick, but Gargano could make this one work. Number 6, keeping Oba strong. Now, after getting on Femi's bad side last week, Kit Wilson found himself in another match against the Ruler last night. The Ruler proceeded to destroy Wilson with a few moves before hitting his finisher for the victory. It was barely a match, but this is what they should be doing with Oba Femi. They presented him as a dominant force, and that momentum should continue with weeks and weeks on up until WrestleMania. With a match against former WWE Champion The Miz scheduled for next week, The Miz at this point should already be digging his grave. And number 7, better booking for Julia. Io Sky was originally announced as Julia's opponent for last night, but WWE changed the match to feature Rhea Ripley before the show began. While the Beautiful Madness has impressed since arriving in WWE, this felt like actually one of the first times she's truly showcased her aggressive side, the true Japanese strong style. Facing someone like Ripley, an opponent known for intensity and physicality, brought that edge out of her. Although the match ended in a no contest due to the interference from both Jax and Lash Legend, her presentation this week felt noticeably stronger. Funny enough, this came after Julia reposted this message on a TikTok account. The WWE needs to just let Julia be Julia. Ever since she was called up, it's felt like Road Dogg has been trying to book her into what she thinks should be instead of what she is. Are they finally paying attention now? But that was a good what about the bad, as number 1, Jade Cargill's dominant champion image crumbled. Jade Cargill had another short promo on the show, and the goal was obvious. WWE wanted to feel dominant, confident, and in control. But something just didn't quite click here. The words were there, the message was clear, she's the champion, and she wants everyone to know it. But the delivery didn't fully carry that weight. It felt more like someone trying to protect authority rather than someone who naturally owns it. But as Jade was walking off, she crossed paths with Charlotte Flair, who was heading out for Elimination Chamber qualifier. They've interacted before, but the energy felt a little different here. But Charlotte barely acknowledged her, and that seemed to throw Jade off. Instead of coming across like a dominant champion standing her ground, the segment felt slightly uncomfortable, almost unscripted, which I guess is a good thing. But the confidence didn't feel steady, it leaned closer to insecurity rather than intimidation. The commentary didn't help either, as Joe Testor pointed out that Jade was standing next to a 14-time world champion. It wasn't meant as a shot, but it subtly shifted the balance of the moment. Instead of elevating Jade, it reminded viewers of who she was sharing the frame with. A similar situation played out backstage as Jade confronted B-Fab backstage, and almost immediately Michin stepped in, holding a kendo stick, warning that she was coming for Jade after being injured. But when Michin swung the stick, Jade backed up not once, but twice, and that felt a little bit off. If the goal is to present her as unstoppable, why have a retreat? Well, maybe heels are just smarter like that. Jade really has all the tools to become maybe one of even the best women's champions of all time with her character. She has undeniable presence and charisma, but at this stage in her career, many expected more growth in promo delivery and overall polish. Number 2, Sami Zayn apologizes. Sami Zayn came up short in the Elimination Chamber qualifier against Rhodes and Jacob Fatu, thanks in part to interference from Drew McIntyre. This week on Smackdown, Sami made it clear he wasn't over it. In a backstage segment, he accused Cody of taking advantage of the chaos, and from Sami's point of view, it felt like a betrayal. But Cody didn't see that way, and he brushed it off as perspective, saying he simply capitalized on the opportunity in front of him. The conversation didn't stay calm for long, and tension rose, words got sharper, and eventually Cody walked away. And then Trick Williams was shown laughing in the background as he mocked Sami, telling him he'd finished the job, something Sami couldn't do. For a moment, it genuinely looked like the seeds of a heel turn were being planted. But instead of snapping, Sami went the other way and apologized, and the crowd really didn't like that. Sami talked about always trying to do the right thing and how it keeps backfiring on him, and this doesn't feel accidental. WWE doesn't highlight that kind of internal frustration unless it's leading somewhere, and could it lead to an actual heel turn later on? Some would say that would be foolish, but maybe Sami needs a refresh. Maybe he needs a new attitude. Number 3, the burial of Ilya Dragunov. Ilya Dragunov's momentum continues to be a big talking point following his latest loss on SmackDown, where he fell to Tama Tonga now. Interference definitely played a part, but that's not the moment people are talking about. It was what happened in the ring. Dragunov unleashed 8 consecutive chops to Tama Tonga, a sequence meant to showcase his trademark intensity and punishing offense. But they were again shrugged off by Tama Tonga. When your entire identity is built around brutal offense and physical punishment, those signature moves have to land, and if they don't get sold, the perception shifts. Not just for the spot, but for the wrestler delivering it. And we know this isn't the first time. For the 3rd time, Dragunov's signature knife-edge chops were no-sold. What the hell are they actually doing with him? Now honestly, there wasn't anything that truly felt ugly on SmackDown last night. But what'd you guys think of the Blue Brand last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Now first story looks at Janel Grant breaks her silence on Vince McMahon. Janel Grant returned to the public spotlight this week, and she didn't hold back. Speaking at the Capitol News briefing hosted by Connecticut Alliance to End Sexual Violence, Grant delivered an emotional statement about her lawsuit involving WWE and Vince McMahon. She sharply criticized the use of NDAs in workplace misconduct cases, saying, "This NDA was a tool that Vince could use to justify anything while I remain in a system of exploitation, and actually in a position for anyone to exploit me. Workplace safety depends on transparency because when employees cannot speak, patterns can't be seen. When patterns can't be seen, they can't be stopped. When they can't be stopped, harm spreads." When an NDA is used to conceal dangerous behavior, it simply relocates the harm to the next employee, the next office, the next victim. Grant also alleges that WWE attempted to issue a joint statement labeling a relationship with McMahon as consensual, something she says she's always refused. So someone, a group maybe, behind my back, without my acknowledgement, without my input, made that decision for me. It's consensual, we say so. Grant also referenced the 2024 WWE storyline that viewers felt mirrored her real-life situation. She didn't name it directly, but many fans quickly pointed to the Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio angle, where Dominic received a text message strongly implied to contain explicit photos and showed it to members of the Judgment Day as part of the storyline. One of the most disturbing parts of her statement came when she described the emotional toll of being told to stay silent when the Wall Street Journal story broke. So I blacked out and I ended up in a closet with a belt and a stool. Thank God somebody saw me and stopped it, but that is the life wreck and the mental health impact of this particular NDA. Grant's message was clear: silence protects power, and she's no longer willing to stay silent. But she was mocked by the Tate brothers. And whilst many are behind Janel Grant in this situation against Vince McMahon and WWE, some people like the Tate brothers aren't so, and they mocked Janel Grant during their live stream.
He worked hard to become a billionaire, and he bought her all of these things. This is disgusting. Ready?
Go on.
This is disgusting.
Hit me with it.
$20,000 towards surgery paid directly to the surgeon's office.
Trafficking.
A pearl and diamond necklace.
Trafficking.
Blue cashmere knee-length cardigan.
Trafficking.
Blue Burberry cashmere scarf.
Trafficking.
Blue cashmere and fur hat.
Trafficking.
Gray cashmere shawl.
Trafficking.
Celine sunglasses.
Trafficking.
Well, if anyone should know a little something about human trafficking, it's the Tate brothers. Next up, WWE doubled down on stupidity. A Fightful Select and PW Insider previously reported that WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas will not allow traditional watch parties this year, a huge change from how past events were handled. The reason why? Well, according to Fightful Select, the goal is simple: push more fans toward buying tickets to attend live events instead of watching elsewhere. That same approach, though, is now being expected to carry over to the 2026 Elimination Chamber Premium Live event in Chicago next weekend. In WWE's eyes, this is going to maximize LiveGate revenue, but the reaction hasn't been positive. Many fans have argued that blocking watch parties isn't likely to move the needle much on ticket sales. Instead, they believe it removes an accessible alternative. For out-of-town fans, families, or anyone priced out or unable to secure tickets, local watch gatherings have traditionally been a great way to still feel part of the WrestleMania weekend atmosphere. It's unclear why WWE think that this is going to be the best way to sell and push tickets, when they know the true reason why tickets aren't being sold is solely down to the price. Unless they reduce that price, tickets are not going to be sold. Yesterday, we already reported that WrestleMania 42 ticket sales have also tanked, even with the discount. But WWE fans know that 25% off $5,000 isn't that great of a deal. You've already increased the ticket prices about 3,000%, so taking off 25% ain't going to be much. There were already reports of frustration in Las Vegas, especially from businesses that had finalized promotional plans before the policy shift. And if a similar thing happens in Chicago, the backlash could grow even further. Next up, why WWE had to black out Smackdown. During the Elimination Chamber qualifying match between Flair, Nia Jax, and Kiana James, a sudden blackout grabbed viewers' attention. The moment unfolded after Nia Jax hit the Annihilator on Kiana James, taking her out of contention. But as Jax attempted to recover and potentially capitalize, Charlotte Flair charged in and delivered a dropkick to Jax's back. The impact sent Jax falling forward and she went down and her gear shifted, forcing her to quickly adjust. The camera immediately cut to another angle and then focused on Flair, who was also down after delivering the dropkick. However, Flair also experienced an entire malfunction of her own during the sequence. This actually led to WWE cutting out the feed entirely. While production reacted fast, this isn't the first time that Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax have encountered similar wardrobe-related issues during matches. And finally, AJ Styles reveals his original retirement plans. Last month at the Royal Rumble, AJ Styles' WWE run came to an end at the hands of Gunther. But according to Styles himself, the original plan was very different. Speaking on a recent WWE vlog ahead of his Saudi Arabia match, Styles revealed he had intended to retire at WrestleMania 41. He explained that like many wrestlers, he wanted to walk away on the biggest stage of the year. However, he had just returned from a serious injury that could have ended his career. Once he recovered and felt physically capable of performing at his usual level, retiring only 2 months later didn't feel right to him. Instead, Styles felt it was more fitting to potentially close his career on the same type of pay-per-view stage where he originally debuted, all the way back in 2016. The WWE is now planning a tribute for Styles on the February 23rd episode of Raw in Atlanta near his hometown. While no specific details have been announced, reports indicated that members of the SmackDown roster are being flown in, signaling a meaningful send-off. But there you have it, folks, our look at SmackDown as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.